everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today as we continue our series, Bake Off! Trust me, it's worth the wait. All this month, we'll be making the connection between patience and God's character as shown through God's big story. We hope you enjoy today's service.
You were more beautiful than anyone ever. Every day, you're the same. You never change, no, never. You were more beautiful than anyone ever. Every day, you're the same. You never change, no, never. And how could I ever deny the love of my Savior? You are to me everything, all I need forever. How could you be so good? There is no one like you. There has never, ever been anyone like you. Everywhere you were there.
sugar, 3 cups of butter. Wait. That definitely sounds wrong. Oh, 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of butter. That was gonna be a disaster. Hi everyone, we're in the middle of taking an online baking class. Our instructor is teaching us how to make a cake from scratch. I love to cook, you love to cook. Have you guys ever made a cake from scratch? Now baking is not something that we are good at, but we're trying to learn. Seriously, it's a challenge for us.
Boys, what are you doing?
Oh, well, we're in the middle of making our kids video, our kids video. I'll mute ourselves.
Sorry about that, kids. Oh man, I love these things. You know what these are like? These are like the teacups. Like you get in there, you shrink down, you ride around. Wouldn't that be so much fun? Maybe not that much fun. Wait, what did she say? How much vanilla do I need? Did you guys hear that? How many? Thanks.
Okay, what's next? Hello? Can you tell us what's next? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Oh, man, it is frozen. Oh boy, I really don't like it when technology fails me.
We're trying to bake a cake here, and you're just, ugh!
We're gonna have to wait until this unfreezes so we can continue to bake our cake. Sometimes we have to wait for things when we really don't want to. Just like in today's story. And sometimes, just like in today's story, we don't wait. We're just gonna go ahead and try to bake this cake from scratch. I really think we got this. Okay, I really don't think we do. We'll see you pretty soon.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Genesis. Chapter 25, verses 24 through 34.
When Abraham's son Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebecca. But it didn't seem as though they'd be able to have children.
Please, God, give us children.
But God answered Isaac's prayers, and Rebecca became pregnant with twins.
Isaac, I'm pretty sure they're having a wrestling match in here.
Oh, definitely boys.
Rebecca asked God about the struggle she could feel. He told her,
2 nations are in your body. 1 nation will be stronger than the other. The older son will serve the younger one.
When it was time for the babies to be born, they came out fighting. Esau was born first. He came out with a strong set of lungs and a head full of red hair. His brother Jacob was born moments later, still holding on to Esau's heel.
How on earth did he manage that?
The brothers shared the same birthday, but as they grew, that was about the only thing they had in common. Esau loved to roam far out into the wilderness.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Jacob preferred the comforts of home.
The sun is so hot. I'll just take a little nap in the tent.
Esau loved to hunt wild animals.
That is one excellent wildebeest.
Jacob preferred a different type of hunting.
Not you, not you. Ha! The perfect ripe honeydew melon.
One fine morning, Esau headed out into the wilds in search of adventure and some nice, juicy venison.
I'll feast tonight.
But Esau went all morning without spotting a single rabbit.
Ugh, should have packed a lunch.
In the afternoon, he tracked a deer for hours, but he missed his chance as the deer sprang away.
Ah!
At last, Esau headed for home, defeated. He was tired and irritated and so hungry he could eat an entire woolly mammoth.
Must eat food.
As Esau neared camp, a delicious smell wafted out to greet him.
Food!
Jacob had been home all day, resting and plucking his favorite herbs from his garden.
A little coriander, some dill.
As evening approached, Jacob used his savory herbs to whip up a tasty red lentil stew and a batch of fresh, buttery bread.
This will crisp up nicely on the hot stones.
By the time Esau had arrived in camp, Jacob's stew was simmered to perfection, and the bread was hot and crusty.
Food! Food!
Esau lunged for the stew cauldron, ready to grab a bowl, but Jacob blocked his path.
Not so fast.
Step aside, I'm hungry.
Clearly.
Just let me have some of that red stew.
Certainly.
Esau tried to dive for the stew pot again.
Just one itty-bitty thing.
What?
Well, first, give me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son.
Esau spent more time listening to his stomach than his brain. So in that moment, his stomach won out.
Look, I'm dying of hunger. If I die, those rights are pointless anyway. Now give me that stew.
Esau sprang forward once more.
Promise to give me your rights.
Fine.
Fine what?
Fine, I promise.
Promise what?
I promise to give you my rights as the oldest.
Cool. Help yourself.
Jacob stepped aside as Esau hurled himself at the stew pot.
Stew!
Esau happily gorged himself on rich stew and fresh bread. But as his stomach filled up, he had time to stop and think again. Esau had just traded the rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only last him a few hours.
Wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Psalms 27:14.
Let us give you a little advice. Don't bake angry. Instead of making a cake, you end up with a big mess. That's what happens when you lose patience. You make choices you normally wouldn't make, and it ends up costing you. Look at this. Losing patience ended up costing Esau his birthright. His brother Jacob ended up being in the family line of Jesus. So who knows what all Esau missed out on by being impatient.
When you don't learn to have patience, you get frustrated easier. With ourselves, with others, with technology. There's really nothing good that can come from being impatient. So think about when you're waiting for your turn on a video game, or when you're waiting to say something while someone else is talking, or when you're waiting for the internet to hurry up and start working.
Yes. Having patience is better than losing it. Slow down. Or you can hurt yourself or someone else. Or you can end up covered and cake batter. Here's the one thing to remember today. If you don't wait, it could cost you. If you need help waiting, ask someone you trust to come alongside you. Spend some time talking to God about how you can be better at being patient, so you can benefit from some great rewards that God may have for you. Remember, everything happens in God's timing. He is interested in what is best for you, even when it means you having to wait longer than you may want to.
I'm going to start cleaning up our mess.
This is going to take a while.
You think we just wait till tomorrow and maybe it'll disappear?
Do you see what I can find out?
You know, there's no footprints. Very little footprints.
Here, I'll tell you what. You think we can keep this nice little shiny thing over here? Because it could be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Stuck. We'll figure this out. Guys, we're going to start cleaning up. We'll see you